Here we will discuss about electric field lines. These are the hypothetical lines, that is imaginary lines, that gives the information about electric field. That means these lines are traveling such way that it always indicates the electric field. So let us say this is a positive charge and this is one of the electric field lines from this positive charge. If you keep one unit positive charge here, it always moves in this direction because these two repels. So the line along which a unit positive charge would move freely is known as electric field lines. So these are some of the points about electric field lines. Here electric field lines always originate from the positive charge and terminates on the negative charge, that we know. The tangent drawn at any point on a field line gives the direction of the field at that point. Let us say this is a curved line. Here if I want to find out electric field, so draw a tangent to this one. This will give the direction of the electric field. Here in this diagram, a line is originating from positive charge and it is terminating on negative charge. So if you want to find electric field here, so we can find out electric field due to two charges. One is due to the positive charge here, one is due to the negative charge present at B. So the positive charge is present at A. In this case, here at this point, this will give the direction of electric field, and this will give the direction of the electric field due to charge placed at B, that is negative charge. So that means the tangent at that point will give the direction of the field here. So at that point. Third one, field lines never intersect with each other. If you see these here, lines are not intersecting with each other. If they intersect with each other, let us say two lines are meeting at a point. So if you want to draw a tangent here, you can draw two tangents. That means at this point field will have two directions, one along this one E1, one along this one E2, but electric field is a vector. That means it will have only one direction at a single point. So at this point the field has two directions, so which is impossible. That's why they never intersect with each other. Fourth point, field lines originate or terminate on a charge perpendicular to the surface. If you observe these diagrams, if you take any diagram, here the angle between the surface and this one is 90, here for this 90, 90, 90. So everywhere the field lines are perpendicular to the surface of the charged body. The next one, relative density of field lines gives magnitude of field at that region. Here in this diagram, it is clear that in this area, the total number of lines are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 lines that are originating or that can be seen in this region. But if you take a similar region here, a same region, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we have 11 electric field lines in this diagram. Here we have only 5 electric field lines in this region. That means the number density is more here, number density is less here. Wherever the number density is more, we can say that electric field in that region is stronger when compared to the other region. So in this, which is greater, whether Q1 or Q2? So what we can say, a charge which is having more magnitude, that means a stronger charge will produce a stronger field. A weaker charge always produces a weaker field here. So here, as the Q1 is stronger, it is producing more lines. At Q2 is less, the number of lines terminating on this negative charge are less. So based on this one, they are asking the magnitude of Q1 and Q2, which one is bigger. They are not asking about the signs here, only the magnitudes. So from this what we can say, number density of lines, that is field lines is more for Q1. So obviously Q1 magnitude must be greater than Q2. So this is based on this relative density of field lines gives the magnitude of the field at that region. Here magnitude of field is more. As a strong field is there, so the number density will be more. This will be bigger than this one or stronger than this one. Now next one, if this is a question, which is greater, whether Q1 or Q2. If you observe these two diagrams, here number density is more clearly. So based on this relative density, we can say that Q1 is greater than Q2. But in this region, if you observe this diagram, there are two lines shown in this diagram, only two lines are shown in this diagram. So based on this one, we cannot decide which is bigger here. But what we can say here, the angle made by this one is bigger than the angle made by these lines on this charge. That means when the angle is less, that means lines are crowded together. So here crowded together, but here they are moving away. So whenever the lines are crowded, the angle made by the lines at that point will be less. Here alpha less than theta. When the alpha is less means they are crowded together. So magnitude of Q2 greater than magnitude of Q1. So based on this one, we can say this is the stronger charge or bigger charge when compared to this one in terms of the magnitude. Now here in this question, they have given 2 points A and B, and they are asking what is the electric field ratio between electric field due to A due to B at point P, at this point P, at point P. So to find out this one, first you resolve this electric field here. At any point draw a tangent, and here after drawing the tangent, let us say it is making some alpha at this charge and EB is making beta at this charge. You can resolve this into two components. So what are those two components? If you resolve this one into like this, so this will be alpha and this will be beta. Now this is EA cos alpha, this will be EA sin alpha. Similarly, EB can be written as this is EB cos beta, this is EA sin beta. So in this, the net electric field at this point is the sum of these two. That is E net at point P is equal to EA cos alpha plus EB cos beta. This is the net electric field at point P. So I can write EP, electric field at point P. But what about the ratio between these two at point P? Ratio, to get the ratio, if you observe this diagram, EA sin alpha exactly equal to EA sin beta. These two are equal and opposite to each other. So what we can write, EA sin alpha is equal EB, this is B sin beta. We need the ratio between EA and EB. So which is given by EA by EB is equal sin beta by sin alpha. So this is the ratio between the electric field at point P. In this video, we will discuss about electric potential energy. So what is this electric potential energy? If you keep two charges Q1 and Q2 separated by some distance r here, so initially they are at rest, but due to the similar polarity, that means this is a positive charge and this is also positively charged particle, these two will repel with each other. Due to repulsion, this charge will get some velocity and even this charge will get some velocity, and let their masses be m1 and m2. In this case, these two are gaining kinetic energy. These two charged particles gaining kinetic energy. So gain in kinetic energy is equal to the initial energy stored in this one, because this energy can be given by some energy in the system. So the energy, the source that is giving or producing this kinetic energy to this charged particle must be the initial energy, which we call it as electrostatic potential energy. So when they are at rest, when these two charged particles are at rest, so that's what is called electrostatic potential energy. So the kinetic energy attained by these two charged particles will be supplied by the electrostatic potential energy of the system. But how to determine the potential energy of the system of these charged particles. Please remember, the electrostatic potential energy denoted with U is always equal to 0 for a single charge. That means for isolated charge, for a single charge, it won't have any type of energy. But if another charge is brought nearer to this one, to bring that charge from infinite distance to here, we need to do some work. That work done by the external force to bring this charge, to arrange these charges in this configuration, is known as electric potential energy. So this belongs to the configuration of charges. So for this charges to be placed at these 2 points, that means configuration. So due to arrangement of these 2 charges in this configuration, the charges attain some energy, that is electric potential energy. So here work done in arranging these charges in these present locations will be stored as energy, that is electric potential energy. So that means work done in arranging these charges in these locations is called electric potential energy. So how to derive the expression for electric potential energy? So for this let me take one electric field in which charges are placed. Here let us say this is a electric field. So in this electric field, I want to move a charge from here to here, that is from A to B. So to move the charge from A to B, I need to do some work. So in this case, the electric field at this point is, let us say it is E. And the distance to be travelled from A to B, let us say this is dr. Let the charge that is moving from A to B, let it be Q. So if I want to move a charge, let us say test charge, here Q0 is the test charge. To move this charge from A to B, I need to do some work. Work done is given by the dot product of force and displacement. Here to move the charge from A to B, I am doing some work, that is a small amount of work to move the charge from A to B, which is given by force into the distance travelled. So externally I need to apply some force. Generally if you leave this charge Q0 at A, it will move along the electric field line. We know that positive charge always try to move in the direction of the electric field. So this charge Q0 will move along this line. But if I want to move the charge against this field, that means from A to B, I need to apply some electric force, external force here. So at this point, at point A, the electric force is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. But here the source charge is not given. So but the electric field strength at point A is given. So electric force F is equal to EQ, which we can write EQ0. So this is equation 1. But this is the electric force. That means it will act in the direction of the field. This force will act in the direction of field as the charge is positive. So this is the direction of electric force. This is F electric. So now I need to apply some force which is exactly equal to electric force but opposite to the direction of electric force. So what is the electric force in this case? The electric force is given by E in Q0, but what is the external force to be applied? This is minus F electric. The external force is equivalent magnitude to the electric force, but opposite to its direction. So I need to apply a force, that is external force, to move the charge from A to B. So in this case, the F external force can be written as In this case, we can write dW to move the charge from A to B is equal to, instead of F external, what we can write, minus of F electric into dr. So what is the total work done? The total work done to move the charge is given by integral minus EQ naught dr or minus Q naught integral E bar dot dr. So the work done to move the charge between any points. Here from A to B it is given. Let us say this is from R1 to R2. The total work done to move the charge from R1 to R2 is given by work done is equal to minus Q naught of integral R1 R2 E bar dot dr bar. So this is the expression to find out the work done. So in this case it is found that work is done against the electric field, because this minus indicates that we are doing some work against the electric field. So work done against the electric field to move the charge will always stored in the form of potential energy. That's why generally here in this case we will consider the external force. But if you take the electric force in this equation, you can write work done by external force is this one. So work done by external force is given by minus Q naught integral E bar dot dr bar from R1 to R2. This is a work done by external force. But what is the work done by electric force? This is exactly opposite to the work done by external force, which is given by plus Q naught E bar dot dr bar from R1 to R2. So that means work done by external force is always equal and opposite to the work done by the electric force. And if you see this equation, work done is a point function. That means it always depends upon the initial and final positions of this body, but not the path followed. That means in this case, if you want to move the charge from A to B in this direction, or from here to here, from here to like this and along this path, even though the path has changed, but it only depends upon the initial and final positions. So work is a path function, point function, and it is not a path function. So here electric potential energy depends on two factors. One is the magnitude of its own charge. A system will have 2, 3, 4 any number of charges. So it depends upon that magnitude of that each and every charge and the relative distance with respect to the other charges. So what is the equation for this electric potential energy? Here in this case I have taken a charge Q1 which is fixed here. Let us say Q1 is fixed, it is not moving, and I want to move a charge from B to C. So B is a point at a distance R1 from the fixed charge, and C is the point at a distance R2 from the fixed charge. So I want to move this charge from B to C. That means from here to here. So to move this charge, I need to do some work. This work done by the electric force is a negative of the work done by the electric force is a negative of the potential energy. It means change in potential energy is equal to minus of the work done by the electric force. So this I can write this as delta U, that is change in potential energy is equal to work done by negative charge, the work done by the electric force, the negative of the work done by the electric force. So delta is equal to minus W electric. Now what is the work done to move this charge? To find out this work done, we know the product of force and displacement is the work done. Here to move the charge from B to C, at different positions this charge Q2 will experience a different force. That's why let me take a small distance here, whose distance is dx given here. Okay, so to move this charge from this point to this charge by a distance dx, first of all force between Q1 and Q2 at that point, let me take this point as P. At P is given by, this is electric force which is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, the product of the charges by distance between two charges x. So this will be x square. This is the electric force. So this charge Q2 will move from P to, let us say this point capital Q, from P to Q by a small distance dx due to the electric force. So the repulsive force between Q1 and Q2 will give, the repulsive force between Q1 and Q2 will move the charge from P to Q. So who is responsible for the charge Q2 to move from P to Q? The repulsion between P and Q1 and Q2. So work done by electric force is given by dW, because this displacement is very small. So electric force is given by F electric into dr. Now if you substitute this one, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by x square into dx. This is equation 1. This is the small amount of work done to move the charge from P to Q. So this is a small amount of work. I can write small amount of work done by the electric force is given by. So to displace the charge by a small distance, to displace by a small distance dr. Now, what is the total work done to move the charge from B to C here? The total work done is given by, the total work done is the integral of the small work done with limits R1 to R2, because our aim is to move the charge from B to C. So which is given by integral of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by x square dx with limits R1 to R2. So you can bring this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 constants outside. So this will be Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught with limits R1 R2 1 by x square dx. So based on this one, Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught, Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught, integration of 1 by x square will be minus 1 by x with limits R1 R2. So if you substitute these upper and lower limits in this equation, you can write this as minus 1 by R2 minus of minus 1 by R1. So here work done is given by this Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and this is minus of minus plus 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. So this is the work done by the electric force to move the charge from B to C. So let me take this as equation 1. But we know that the change in potential energy equal to negative of the work done by the electric force. So let me use this one. Change in potential energy is equal to final potential energy minus initial potential energy, which is equal to negative of the work done. This is the work done by the electric force. This is the negative of the work done by the electric force. So this is minus of Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Based on this one, we can write the change in potential energy, that is potential energy at R2, that point C, minus potential energy at initial point at B. So this we can write U R2, that is final potential energy, is at a distance of R2 minus potential energy distance of R1, U R1 is equal to the negative of this one, which is given by Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught negative of this one will become 1 by R2 minus 1 by R1. Based on this one, if you compare these two, UR2, that is final potential energy, minus UR1, this initial potential energy is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R2 minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R1. So from this equation we can say the final potential energy is equal to this much, the initial potential energy equal to this much. So the expression to find out the potential energy of a system is given by U is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught product of the charges by distance between the two charges for a distance r. Suppose if the distance is too large, let us say Q1 is fixed here and Q2 is placed at infinite distance. So potential energy when the charges are separated by infinite distance is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by infinity, which is 0. Very important point that we have to remember while solving the problems. The potential energy of system of charges which are separated by infinite distance is always equal to 0. If you take two charges Q1 and Q2 separated by some distance r, the electrostatic potential energy of the system of these two charges is given by U is equal 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught product of the charges by distance between the two charges r. But in case of two charges which are have opposite polarity Q1 and minus Q2, if one of the charge is a negatively charged particle, let us say this is minus Q2, this is plus Q1, first charge, this is second charge. Let us say these two are separated by some distance r here. Then the potential energy between these two is given by, expression will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into minus Q2 by r. If we observe these two equations, here potential energy is positive, whereas here potential energy U is negative. What is the meaning of negative potential energy? The negative potential energy is nothing but we need to do work to separate these two charges apart. Now here these two charges already repulse with each other, that's why here no need to do some work here, but we have to arrange this charge from here to here, then the field will do some work. But if you want to move it without any acceleration, then we call it as the potential at this point. We will discuss that point later. But the negative work is nothing but here energy is to be supplied, energy is to be supplied to the system. That means these two charges have electrostatic potential energy which is negative. So the negative potential energy is minus U. If you add some energy to this one, we can make the total energy 0. So this is the energy supplied by us. That means energy supplied externally. So this is external energy supplied. So when these two combined, if the total energy of the system is 0, then it will get stability. So if this external energy supplied is less than this one, still the system will have negative energy due to this. These two charges will try to attract. That means the minimum energy for this to make them apart from each other is which must be equal to the potential energy of this system. Now, if there are three charges, 1, 2, 3. So in three charges, let me take this as Q1, Q2, Q3. separated by some distance. Here let us say this is R12, distance between first and second charge. This is R23, between second and third charge. This is R13, between third and first charge. The electrostatic potential energy of the system of these three charges is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. The point is we need to consider each and every pair in the system. So this is the first pair, which is given by Q1 Q2 by R12. The second one is given by product of these two charges by distance between these two, Q2 Q3 by R23, and the next one Q3 Q1 by R13 or R31, Q3 Q1 by R31. So this is the expression. If the system consists of 4 charges, then the number of terms in the potential energy equation changes as, let me take 4 charges here at the 4 corners of a square. Let us say the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. This is R and R. Now the electrostatic potential energy of system of these 4 charges is given by, here if you observe these charges, we have total number of 6 pairs. Why? Because this is one pair, this is second pair, third pair, fourth pair, this will be the fifth pair, this will be the sixth pair. So the potential energy is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R plus Q1 Q2 by R plus Q2 Q3 by R, Q2 Q3 by R, then Q3 Q4 by R, Q3 Q4 by R plus Q4 Q1 by R, Q4 Q1 by R plus, now the product of the charges which are at opposite corners or opposite edges of this triangle, which are diagonally opposite, which is given by Q1 Q3 by, this distance is not equal to R, this will be root 2R. So this is root 2R, then once again this is Q2 Q4 by root 2R. So this is the expression for electric potential energy of system of 4 charges placed at 4 corners of a square. Suppose if we observe this one, for 2 charges there is only one term, for 3 charges we have 3 terms, for 4 charges we have 6 terms. So there must be a relation between the number of charges and the number of terms in the potential energy equation, which is given by, if there are n charges in a system, then there must be n of n minus 1 by 2 pairs are available. So if n of n minus 1 pairs are available by 2 n pairs are available, then the number of terms in potential energy equation should be n of n minus 1 by 2. Now based on this one, let me check the first case. When there are 2 charges, this will be 2 of 2 minus 1 by 2. For 2 charges, 2 of 2 minus 1 by 2 cancel. So that means there is only one term in this one. If there are 3 charges, you can write 3 of 3 minus 1 by 2, which can be written as 3. So here we can see 1, 2, 3. There are 3 terms in the potential energy equation. Suppose in this case, if there are 4 charges at 4 corners, so it's the same thing, 4 of 4 minus 1 by 2, to cancel 2 3s are 6 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So based on this one, what we can say, if there are 10 terms, 10 charges in a system, then the number of terms in the expression of potential energy equation will be given by 10 of 10 minus 1 by 2 to 5s, this is 45. That means that expression must consist of 45 terms. In this problem, there are 4 charges at 4 corners of a square. These are 2 positive charges and these are 2 negative charges. Let the distance or the side of this one, let me take it as 2r, and this will become r, this is r, this distance will be root 2r. That means the charge which is placed at the point of intersection of the two diagonals is at a distance of root 2 r from each and every charge. Now, if I want to move the charge from O to point 1, so what happens? What is the change in potential energy? Here change in potential energy is equal to the work done by the external force. That is, here work done when the charge is moved from 0 to O. So this is a 0. Why? Because when charge moved from O to 1, from point O to 1, when this charge brought here, initially the particle has 0 potential energy. Why? Because this is q naught root 2, q naught by root 2, minus q naught by root 2, minus q naught by root 2, net potential energy here 0. When it is brought here, the effect of positive charge, effect of negative charge will be same on this one. So potential energy of these three charges in this arrangement will be 0, and this distance is also same. Effect of positive charge will cancel with effect of negative charge. So the total net change in the potential energy will be 0. Initial potential energy 0 and final potential energy also 0. Similarly, when the charge is moved from O to 2, let us say this is point 2 here, when this charge is brought here, the effect of negative charges is dominated than the effect of positive charges. That means the net potential energy change is negative. This will be negative. Similarly, if a charge is moved from O to 3, from here to here, in this case also the net distances as well as the charges together will become 0. So change in potential energy will be 0. If charge is moved from O to 4, in this case, now the effect of positive charge will be more. So change in potential energy will be positive here. That means it will get a positive value. As the negative charges are at a large distance, the potential energy due to positive charges will be more than the potential energy due to negative charges. That's why the change in potential energy will be positive. So based on this one, what is the conclusion? When two charges Q1 and Q2 separated by some distance, or if they are brought nearer, as the distance decreases, from this equation U is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R. As R decreases, the potential energy will increase. That means work done by the external force is equal to change in potential. There is final potential energy minus new potential energy. So charges, which charges? When similar charges comes nearer to each other, are brought nearer to each other, potential energy always increases. But for dissimilar charges, one positive, one negative, if they are brought nearer to each other, potential energy always decreases. In this problem, a charge Q naught is placed at the origin of the coordinate system, and equal charges but with the opposite polarity. That means dissimilar charges of same magnitude, minus q plus q minus u plus q, are placed on x-axis along positive x-axis as well as along negative x-axis, and the separation between any two charges being a. So what is the total potential energy of system of this one? So potential energy of system of charges with separation between any two successive B A. So to find out this one, first we will take one of the pair here. So in this pair, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught into minus Q by A, This is the potential energy due to the first pair. So what is the potential energy due to the second pair, which is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q naught into minus q by this distance, this is plus 2a. This distance is 2a. Now between these two, like this, if we continue, for each and every pair on right side, we have a pair on left side, which is given by, that's why the potential energy of the first pair on both sides is given by into 2. This is also 2. So if you continue like this, the total potential energy of the system is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught minus 2 q naught by a into the remaining terms are 1 minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 minus 1 by 4 up to infinite. So this is given by minus 2 q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught a. This is a log 2. So this is the potential energy of this system of charges placed. Here, let me take a charge q1, which is fixed here, and this is r1. Another charge q2 is released. So when this charge is released from here, released means the initial velocity of this charge, we should take it as 0, and the mass of this charged particle is m. Here this first charge is fixed. So when it released, due to the repulsion between these two, the first charge being fixed, the second charge will move away from this one along the electric field line. So let us say it reached a point. So what is the velocity at that point? If the distance of separation between these two initially was r1, now when the charged particle reaches r2, what is its velocity? Here we will use law of conservation of energy. So based on that one, the total energy of the system initially is equal to total energy of the system in final condition, final position. So what is total energy? When these two are separated by some distance, the system has electrostatic potential energy because both are at rest initially. And now initially it is at rest, so kinetic energy of this charged particle initially will be 0. So what I am going to write here, PE initial plus KE initial is equal to PE final KE final. What is the initial potential energy of these two, which is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R1. This is initial potential energy of the system of two charges, and the initial kinetic energy of system is 0 because as the first one is fixed velocity 0, second one is released means it is also at rest. Now what is the final potential energy of the system? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught product of the charges by the new distance between these two will be r2 plus the second charged particle having mass m will attain some velocity. So what is the kinetic energy here? This will be half m v square. So if you bring this one this side, you can write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r1 minus q1 q2 by r2 is equal to half m v square. So this can be written as v square is equal, this m by 2 when it comes this side will become 2 by m into 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2, let me take it as common, the remaining terms are 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. So we are interested to find out this velocity. So from this, the velocity can be given as root over q1 q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught. This you can write 2 by m here this value will become LCM R1 R2, this will be R2 minus R1. So the velocity is given by, here you can cancel 2 and this 4, this can be written as Q1 Q2 by 2 pi epsilon naught m R2 minus R1 by R1 R2. So this is the expression for velocity of the charged particle. In this problem, find the velocities of charged particles when they reach the vertices of an equal triangle of side 2A. So here we have taken a triangle of side A each. This is an equal triangle. Now if the charged particles, because of the repulsion, this will move away, and due to this one it will move away, because this will be, these two repel along this path, these two repels along this path. The net repulsion force is the vector sum of these two, so this charged particle will move in this direction. Similarly, this charged particle will move in this direction, this charged particle will move in this direction. So due to the motion of these charged particles, finally let us say after some time they reached a new positions whose length side is 2A. This is also an equivalent triangle whose side is, previously it was A, now it is 2A. Then what is the velocity of each charged particle? Because here all charged particles have equal amount of charge as well as mass of each particle also m. Now in this case also we will use law of conservation of energy. So what we can write, the total energy initially equal to total energy final energy. Now what is the initial total energy? You can write initial potential energy, that is electrostatic potential energy, plus initial kinetic energy is equal to final potential energy of the system of particles and final kinetic energy. Now initially when three charges are placed at three vertices of a triangle of side A, the total potential electrostatic potential energy of the system of three charges is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, the product of any two charges. So this will be a pair, this is second pair, this is third pair. So product of the two charges, that is q square by A plus next one q square by A, next pair q square by A plus 0, where 0 is the initial kinetic energy, because all the charges were at rest initially. Due to repulsion they are moving away. So what is the final kinetic energy of the system? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Now when the charge moves from here to here, when this charge comes here, the distance between these two is 2A. So we can write q square by 2A for the first pair. For the second pair, this is also q square by 2A, and the third pair q square by 2A, plus each and every particle is gaining energy here, that is kinetic energy. So let the mass of this charged particle, here it is given as m. When it is at rest, velocity is 0. When it comes here, let us say velocity is v. Let the velocity on reaching this point is v. For this also v. For this charged particle also v. So what is the kinetic energy attained here? Half mv square. And each and every particle is getting that kinetic energy. So this will be 3 times of half mv square, where half mv square is the kinetic energy of single particle. As we have 3 charged particles, the total kinetic energy of the system is given by 3 into half mv square. As it is a scalar, we can add directly. If it is a vector, then we need to consider the parallelogram of vector addition. But here, as these energies are scalars, directly we can add them. So from this what we can write? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. This is 3q square by A is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. This is also 3q square by 2A plus 3 by 2 mv square. We wish to find out the velocity of each particle on reaching that vertices of a new triangle. So bring this one this side. So this can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught common. Even you can take a 3q square also common. This is 1 by A minus 1 by 2A, which is given by 3 by 2 mv square. So based on this one, we can write 3q square by 4 pi epsilon naught, and LCM is 2a. This will be 2 minus 1. This is 3 by 2 by m. 3 by 2 m will become, when it goes that side, we can write 2 by 3m is equal to v square. So this will become 1 by 2. So this will be 3q square by 4 2s are 8 pi epsilon naught a into 2 by 3m is equal to v square, or v is equal to square root of this value. You can cancel 2 and 2 here. This will be 4. 3 get be cancelled. So the velocity of each particle will be, when q square comes out, it will become q. So let me write q outside, and all other terms can be written inside. So this will be 1 by pi epsilon naught ma. So this is the velocity of each charged particle when it reaches the vertices of the new triangle. So this will be v is equal to q by root over 1 by pi epsilon naught, but we have a 4 here. You can write this one, or you can bring this 4 outside also, such that it can be written as root q by 2 1 by pi epsilon naught ma. But remember, this is not mass into acceleration, this is mass into distance or length of or side of the triangle here. Yes. Here we are going to calculate the distance of closest approach. I have taken a charge q1 which is initially fixed here. This is a fixed charge, and one more charge is placed at infinity. It is placed here, but if it is thrown towards this fixed charge with a velocity, initial velocity v, when it is kept here, generally because of the repulsion between these two, it will try to move away, but we are pushing it towards that fixed positive charge, and as it is also positive charge, these two repulse with each other, but because of this velocity or the kinetic energy gained by this body or charged particle, it will try to move towards this one. Gradually the velocity decreases. Why? Because the charge is moving against the repulsive force. So after reaching a point P, let us say this point P, the velocity gradually decreases and it becomes 0 here. So here the velocity of the charged particle will become 0. So now the distance between these two charged particles, when Q2 approaches here, the distance between these two, we call it as distance of closest approach. Generally we denote with R minimum. Now here I am going to use the same concept, that is law of conservation of energy. So the total energy initially must be equal to the final energy. The total energy is nothing but potential energy of this particle initially plus kinetic energy of this particle is equal final potential energy plus final kinetic energy. Here, what is the initial potential energy of this system? Here, initial positions are, this is the fixed position and the second charge is at an infinite distance. So, this will become 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by infinite. This is the initial potential energy of the system of these two charged particles, and initially the charged particle was given a velocity v and mass of this particle, let us say it is m. The kinetic energy of this one is given by half m v square. And when the charged particle q2 reached this point, let the distance of these two was denoted with r min. We can write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r min plus, when it comes to this point, that is least distance of distance of closest approach, then the velocity will become 0. So kinetic energy will be 0. So based on this one, we can write, we need to find out this r minimum here. So bring this term that side, and it will become 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by infinity. This value will become 0. So no need to write here. So we can take it as directly, this can be 0. So based on this, what we can write, left side terms are half mv square and right side terms are q1 q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught r min. So bring this arm in here. The distance of closest approach is given by q1 q2 by this half mv square will come here into 4 pi epsilon naught. So this is the distance of closest approach, and this can also be written as R minimum is equal product of the two charges by this is the initial kinetic energy of this charged particle. So we can write it as K initial or Ke initial into 4 pi epsilon naught. But here if you cancel this 2 and 2, this can also be written as Q1 Q2 by 2 pi epsilon naught mv square is the minimum distance. So based on the given data, we can use this formula. If kinetic energy is only given, use this formula to find out the distance of closest approach. If the mass and velocity are given separately, then use this formula to find out the R minimum.